you before here on the show how clever, of course, His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, Prince William is. You know, a little bit like his father, they do take their time to get things together. But eventually, you know, what they do come up with, alongside the Princess of Wales, who's very much the steely backbone behind this brand new monarchy in the 21st century, is normally the correct and right path to go down. One of the problems that they had facing them really seriously was, of course, the forthcoming birthday party of none other than His Majesty the King, King Charles III, next month. You know, normally these glitzy celebrations are sights to behold, you know, but of course in this very difficult time, it's hard, isn't it? I think for anybody, in fact, to decide to put out and splash out when people are really struggling literally around the world. So has Prince William come up with a perfect plan to keep guess who away? Hi, good morning. How are you? Nice to see you as ever. Thank you so much for joining me. Nice to have your company. Also, thank you for your lovely comments about our recent video at Neil Sean's Blackpool Greats, featuring, of course, the resident organist of the famous Blackpool Tower organ, Mr. Phil Kelsall. If you haven't checked it out, do go and have a look. Truly, he tells all about meeting Her Majesty the Queen and, of course, what it was like to receive the MBE from none other than the then Prince Charles. And, you know, it's a really... I love finding that sort of stuff out for you because it's a real insight, isn't it, into what goes on. As I say, I've been lucky enough to film quite a few of those particular special events, and they are special. You know, you're standing there, you think this is a moment in history. This is something that all your family will look upon down the line. Ancestry stuff. I'm sure you. Yes, of course it is. It is, though, isn't it? Do you want to wait? We'll have a wave. How are you? Nice to see you. Yes. Good morning, one and all. Or sleep tight if you're going to bed. Back as ever, though, to your breaking roll story of the day. Big story basically over here because, as we know, we've got the 75th birthday of His Majesty the King next month, and there was this sort of and ahhing dilemma of who was going to be invited. And as we told you, His Majesty the King really is a very gracious man and would naturally hold out an invitation to his youngest son, Prince Harry. I've been told not too keen on the arrival, of course, if possible, or if ever, of Meghan Markle, simply because they just see them as, you know, kind of difficult and worried about speaking freely, as one can imagine, while breaking bread around the celebratory table. But His Royal Highness Prince William, and I think this is rather shrewd, has come up with a very clever idea, something that was passed to him by our late and beautiful monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. You see, if you recall, when he hit 40, you know, there was a sort of party, but it very much was a very subdued affair, certainly not written about in the press, not lauded through to everybody, because as Prince William pointed out, me to the public, quite frankly, up and down the country who are truly struggling, nobody would wish to see any ostentatious shows of wealth or indeed celebration, particularly in these very difficult times. So naturally, this is going to be a very much pared down private family event. Now, this is a sort of event, of course, that would not suit Meghan and Harry. They want flashbulbs, big events, rolling up possibly on a red carpet to the Royal Albert Hall, making sure the world knows that they're back in town. Now, I'm not saying that there will not be an invitation, but truly, William's idea to make this a very private event inside palace walls with just immediate family is a very, very clever one. Making sure, of course, that his younger brother, if he could get a backbone of steel, may come back over here to celebrate with his much beloved father. But indeed, would Meghan now return? As a source pointed out to me, William thinks these things through. The King has decided that this is a very good idea moving forward, more importantly, and of course so does Queen Camilla, which basically means if they do want to come over, they're really going to have to get a backbone of steel. Now, do you see that happening? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.